Today we are doing the $100 budget fishing challenge. Let's go.
Oh man, that's a good fish. That was a bite. Yes, let's go. Little chunky monkey. There we go. Doesn't that thing just look so good? It is. Topwater time. Golly, son, you wagging like a dog.
We are down at the Sportsman's Warehouse that you cannot see behind me. We're gonna go in here with a $100 budget. We're gonna get a rod, reel, line, and lures and see how many fish we can catch. Let's go.
All right, y'all, we are in the Sportsman's Warehouse and we have got to pick out all the things for our $100 budget. First order of business is going to be getting a rod and reel. I'm not really sure what they're gonna have here, but we're gonna go over here and see what they got. This is where we need to be, right here. We got all kinds of different combos. Honestly, they have mostly spinning combos, but we do have a couple bait cast combos, but something like this is not going to make it into our budget, although that is a really good combo. We're gonna be looking more along the lines of $69.99 or maybe even something like this, $49.99. That way we actually have some money to spend on some baits. All right, so I think I've found two different options that I'm kind of liking. We've got this one right here that is actually $40. It is a 6 foot, and we have this one that is a 6'6", and it is $45. And I think I'm gonna go with this blue one because I like the way it looks, and also it's $5 cheaper, so why not? So I picked out my combo, $39.99, but this one does not come with any line. So we've got to get some braided line because that's what I use on my spinning reels. And then we got to get some baits. Honestly, there's not too much of a selection for low pound test braid. Almost everything over here is like 65 and 80 and stuff like that. So kind of got to look around and see what they got, but we need something around 20 pound test. I wanted to get a bright color if I could. Usually I use yellow, but I'm thinking that this right here for $15, 20 pound white should be good. And honestly, the white will probably look good on this setup. So as far as baits go, I'm gonna have to get more finesse type baits. So I'm thinking probably drop shot, maybe Ned rig, stuff along those lines. So first thing that I'm gonna get is going to be some type of a Ned rig bait. I really like these Ned Ochos. I'm just gotta figure out what color I wanna get. Got watermelon red, that's always a good color. Let's see what else we got. We got morning dawn, I don't really know about that. Blue curl, let's go with that. Blue curl, $6.49. Add that to the total. While I'm over here too, I'm about to just get some stick baits so that way we can throw these up shallow. I want watermelon red and I don't see watermelon red. We're just gonna get straight up green pumpkin. Why not? And of course, we have got to get some Ned rig heads. That is way too light, so I've got to find one a little bit heavier. But these right here look like they're gonna be pretty cheap. I mean, they're like, well, that's not it. Right here, they're $3, so they're not bad. I just got to find the right weight. I'm thinking 1/4 ounce if I can find them. It's looking like 1/8 ounce is gonna be the heaviest that we can find, so I guess we're gonna be getting that. So far, I'm right around $70, so I think that our next step is going to be getting some swim baits. And boy, have they got some. Oh, goodness gracious. There's a ton of swim baits over here. We gotta get some small ones, though. I want some little finesse swim baits. So really, I'd like to get a bait kind of this size, but I'm not seeing any of the colors that I really like. And I saw these for $7.99, and that color looks really cool to me. I think that's gonna work, so we're gonna get them. It's looking like these are going to be our cheapest option as far as heads for our swim baits. And I'm kind of thinking that this is going to look the most natural shad-like. So I think we're going to get these. You actually get a ton of heads in here. I just don't really know how it's going to look with my swim bait, but I think it should look okay. And while I'm over here, we're going to go ahead and get some shaky heads. If I can find the ones that I like, those are the ones I like right there. 1/4 ounce, let's go. We're gonna get those for the shaky head. So I was looking around, found these swim baits for even cheaper. So I'm gonna get these and put back the other ones so we can save a couple dollars. We're gonna get some of these for our drop shot. Then we're gonna get some of these. And for our last bait of the day, we are going to get one of these mini topwater baits that Strike King just came out with. There's little lipless crankbaits, you've got little jerk baits, little walking baits, and you've even got little poppers. But I think we're gonna get a little walking bait, and we're just gonna get a sexy shad pattern. That is really cool.
Ugh. Honestly, for $100, we actually ended up doing pretty good. I feel like I've got quite a few baits to be able to catch some fish, and I don't feel like the rod and reel is a piece of junk. It's definitely not great quality, but it's not gonna be terrible. I should be able to catch fish on it, no problem, and it should last me for the day. And we have arrived at the fishing destination. We are out here on a clear lake today, and we are going to be catching some spotted bass and some largemouth bass, hopefully. We just had a huge tropical storm come and hit the East Coast pretty recently, so a ton of the lakes are actually blown out. I mean, muddy, logs floating everywhere, stuff like that. So we came down here today to this lake because it's clear and it's got a bunch of fish in it, and we're gonna see how many fish we can catch with the $100 baits. But before we can actually catch some fish, we need some line on this rod and reel that we picked up at the store. So, got my bag, big old bag. And I'm gonna need this fishing line right here. Most of the time on my spinning setups, I like to throw either 10, 15, or 20 pound braid, and then I will use a fluorocarbon leader, especially if I'm fishing in clear water. I've never actually used white braid before. I usually just use yellow on my spinning setups. But honestly, I think this white is gonna look kind of fire on the spinning setup. I'm interested to see how it looks. I have also got some of this fluorocarbon right here. This is 10-pound test. And this is what I use for my leader line, but whenever you are rigging up first thing with braid, it's always good to tie fluorocarbon on first and then braid, because if not, your braid will tend to slip on the spool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie on just a couple feet of fluorocarbon onto the reel first, and then after that, I'm gonna put on the braid. That should be good, nothing crazy, just a little bit of line on there, and then now we're gonna tie our braid to that fluorocarbon, and we should be Gucci. And now we start spooling up our white braid. And she's done. She's looking good too. I kinda like that white on there. Kinda looks good. So now we have to rig up with our first bait, and I think I'm gonna start off the day fishing up shallow. We've got quite a bit of structure right here, got some trees, got a deep channel out here. So I'm thinking about throwing the Wacky Rig first. So I didn't actually buy Wacky Rig hooks. I do have some in here that I could use, but we're not gonna cheat. But when I was at the store, I thought about just using a drop shot hook as a Wacky Rig hook, so that's what we're gonna do. It's not ideal because the hook is so small, but it definitely will work. I'm just gonna probably lose a lot of baits. I'll say that. And then we're gonna get out one of our Ochos, green pumpkin. This is the 5-inch. Honestly, my favorite type of stick bait to throw. And there we go. Hook's not too bad. Looks pretty good. And if you guys do wanna get any of these Strike King baits that I'm using in today's video, you can get them down below. I will have them linked down below, along with lose rods and stuff like that. This is not a lose rod, but normally that's what I use. If you guys do want to check that out, have it linked down below. Let's go ahead and power pole up and put the trolling motor down, and we're just gonna fish right here if I can get out of the trees. I'm not even turning my fish finders on or anything like that yet, because we're just gonna go fish in the dirt for a while. I do need to check my drag. Yep, that's way too loose. That's probably about right. This thing feels so small too. Normally I'm using like at least a 6'6" or a 7 foot, and this is a 6. And it just feels so weird. I'm really interested to see how it's gonna feel when I actually hook up with the first fish. I got a feeling we should get one pretty soon though. Y'all can see all these trees, and we've got a nice shade line over on this bank. I would think there'd be some bass living up here. It is summertime, so a lot of these fish are out deep. I know that we're gonna have to go deep later on. It's just gonna happen, but for right now, we're gonna try to catch some up shallow. These trees look very good. If it was springtime, oh man, I would have probably already caught 2 by now. You can see a couple little brim swimming around. Haven't seen any bass yet though. I ain't gonna lie, I thought I had one for a second, but it was definitely just that tree. The way I want to do this today too, I'm not gonna do it like I have before where you catch a fish and you change up baits. I'm gonna try to catch a fish on every single one, but I'm not gonna limit myself to the baits. If I wanna go out there and fish a brush pile, then I'll change my bait. If I wanna come up here and fish on the bank, I'll throw something else. You know, we're just gonna fish. We're just gonna have a fun day out here using some cheap stuff that we got from the store. That's kind of the goal. Oh, dude, I just had my first bite. He took my worm. No. Had to be a bass, right? I mean, it took my whole worm. One thing about a wacky rig is just about anything will hit it, including brim. But brim don't take your worm. Bass take your worm. That was a bite. Yes! Let's go! Let's go! It's not even a bad fish. He's pretty decent. My drag's a little loose. Oh yeah! Let's go, baby! Boat flip. Yes! Let's go. First fish of the day. And that is a spotted bass. Yeah, not even a bad one either. First one on the wacky rig, up shallow. If we go out deep later, we'll absolutely wear these things out. But I was not expecting to catch one of those in this shallow stuff. I know they're here, but usually if you're fishing in stuff like this, you'll catch largemouth, not spots. But that's cool. First fish of the day. That little pocket up there looks like a great place to throw a frog. I don't have a frog, but I'll tell you one thing, I'm about to throw this wacky rig up in there. I love fishing these little backwater places like this. You got a bunch of trees and shade. There's actually a bunch of rocks right here too. I guarantee you there's a bass sitting over here somewhere. That's a bite. Oh no, it took my worm again. That kind of felt like a little bluegill though. Make a couple more casts in here, and then I've got a bank behind us that I really want to fish. All right, y'all. We are on this bank that I think should be pretty good. It's a deeper bank, but it's got good wood, and it also has some rocks on it the further up we go. So I should be able to take this wacky rig and skip it on up there on these trees and on these rocks, and there should be some fish right here. I'm not sure exactly how deep we are. I think it's probably like 15 foot where my boat's sitting at right now. It drops off pretty good, so should be the perfect little bank for some deeper fish to hold on. I'm gonna fish up here to this tree. If I don't get bit by then, we're gonna move spots and probably change baits. I am glad we caught at least one on this though, and I might break it out later on in the day, but I do have a couple areas near here that I think will be great for the shaky head. Time to say goodbye to the wacky rig and hello to the shaky head. Now, one thing I did not think about when I was at the store is that this is a very light action rod. So setting the hook is probably going to be difficult. My line is strong enough
but I'm gonna have to wail on these things when I set the hook to drive this hook. These hooks aren't super thick, but they're also not nearly as thin as something like a drop shot hook. So you do need a little bit of oomph to kind of set the hook. But I'm just gonna tighten my drag up, and when we get bit, we're gonna give it to them. These little worms right here should be perfect. Bite the head off, that way you can screw it on there a little bit better. And they should absolutely munch this thing. Bam. I just moved to one of my little honey holes. This is a deeper spot, and this is what you call a hump. Basically what a hump is it's just an underwater mountain, I guess is the best way to explain it. It's really deep all the way around, and then it comes up to a high spot. And in the summertime, those fish will stack up in schools on top of the humps, on top of points, stuff like that. So we're gonna go up here, get on the hump, and drag the shaky head around and see if they'll eat it. They should eat this thing. It's the perfect little bait. There we go. There we go. Hey. Not a super big one, but he is fat. On the shaky head. Little fatso. See you, buddy. And he stole my worm, so we gotta get us another one. Before we get any further into the video, I did want to ask you guys, if you wouldn't mind, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel down below. I am currently at 73,000 subscribers, and I would love to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you guys do enjoy the video, be sure to go down below, leave a like on the video, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. There's another one. That one feels a little bit better than the last one. Definitely giving me a little bit more of a fight. Oh yeah. There's definitely some fish here. There's a school of them. Oh man, that's a good fish. That's actually a good fish. Oh gosh. Oh yeah. That is a pretty good spotted bass right there, folks, especially for this lake. He is way bigger than that last one. I can tell you that. Probably 1.75 pounds, probably. She's a beauty. Oh, there's another one. There we go. Another decent fish, it feels like. Got some pretty big head shakes, but it's kind of hard to tell on this little tiny rod. Oh yeah, he's not bad at all. Not bad at all. We'll give him a little boat flip. That shaky head's actually hooking him pretty good. That fish was not going anywhere. And speaking of not going anywhere, today's video is sponsored by Strapino. Strapino is a retractable ratchet strap brand, and they actually sent me 2 different types of ratchet straps that I'm going to be able to use for all of my fishing adventures. The first strap that I have got is a strap that actually goes on your boat trailer. These retractable straps for the boat are a necessity if you're gonna be traveling, especially if you're traveling long distances. These things make it super easy whenever you're loading or unloading the boat. They are retractable, so whenever you take them off, they are out of the way, and whenever you need them, they are right there. You just pull them up, hook them on, and you are good to go. And these straps are both rated for 1,650 pounds, so that boat is not gonna go anywhere. You got your bolt, got your washer, and you got your nut. Take your strap, take your bolt, run it through, go through the hole on your trailer, take your washer and your nut, you're gonna go around back, and then you just tighten it down.
It is that simple, folks. And that thing is on there tight and she ain't going nowhere. Push the lever. The next strap that we've got that I'm super excited about is this one that I'm gonna be using for my kayak. This is actually made to be used for jet skis, but you can use it for a variety of different things. A really cool thing about this strap is it actually has 2 hooks. So this one hook can slide up and down. That way you can use it as a hooking point in the middle. Another really cool thing about these straps is that they are retractable. So you are never gonna have a tangled up mess. You simply strap it down and it retracts back into itself. We've all been there before trying to get our ratchet straps untangled. It gets frustrating and it takes a lot of time, but now you don't have to worry about that with Strapino. Got my straps hooked right here, and now all we do is crank her down. And this is where these things really come in handy whenever you're ready to release them. Simply push it all the way down and you are retracted. And they are ready for the next use. I know a bunch of y'all have boats and kayaks, so if you need a strap for your boat or you need a strap for your kayak, be sure to check out Strapino, link down below. And there we go, beautiful little spotted bass. Not as big as the last one, but hey, we're not picky, we'll take him. There's literally so many fish down here, y'all. It's crazy. I guarantee as soon as my bait hits the bottom, I'll have one. There we go. Another one on the shaky head. This one feels pretty good too. I'm probably gonna say that a million times since I'm throwing such a light rod, but this one actually feels pretty good. I'm sure he would pull drag, but I've got it cranked down so I can actually set the hook with that shaky head. This might be another pretty good one, like that last one that I had. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That fish wasn't going anywhere. Look how he got that shaky head. That fish was not going anywhere. There we go. Beautiful fish. Not as big as that other one, but still a good one. And since I've caught a few fish on this, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. And we are going to try out the Ned rig. It's definitely going to take this thing a while to sink down to the bottom, but I think once it gets down to the bottom, we'll catch one. Doesn't that thing just look so good? Oh my gosh. That looks like a meal right there, boy. I'm gonna get repositioned on this hump since the wind kind of blew me away, and we're gonna try to catch us another fish. And I can actually loosen my drag a little bit now that I've got this Ned rig. Should be a much lighter wire hook. They're definitely not liking this little Ned rig as good as they were that shaky head, I can say that. I don't know if it's the color or if they just want a bigger bait today. I don't really know, but they don't seem to like it very much. I'm cutting this back off and we're gonna rig up something else. I gotta look at my bag and kind of remember what I got, but we've got some swim baits, we've got drop shot stuff, and we also have that Topwater. I'm gonna rig up a drop shot just because this is a really deep spot. This 1/4 ounce weight should get down there perfectly. And we are going to throw the worm on there and hopefully we can get a couple more fish to bite on this spot. I'll break out the Ned rig a little bit later, but for right now, they don't really like this thing. We're gonna go back to what we know they will eat, and that is this little watermelon red worm, except this time it's going to be on the drop shot rather than the shaky head. So just a little bit of a different rig, still the same worm,
but a little bit of a different rig. They were biting that shaky head pretty good, but I got a feeling I'll probably catch even more with the drop shot. Let's go try us another new spot. Haven't had any luck in a while on this one, so we're gonna make a little move, not too far. All right, we didn't go far, just across the lake to another hump. Oh, I got him. I think it's a baby. Oh, maybe not. He just didn't have no fight in him. No, he's a baby. Little baby on the drop shot. You got some sharp teeth, don't you? Look at how fat these things are. They're just out here feeding up on all these shad. They just get so fat. So we're up here on this hump now. There's actually some trees and stuff on this hump, which is pretty cool. And I just caught one off of one of those trees. He got a little bit of fight in him too. I don't think he's that big though. Nope, just a fighter. Just a little fighter. Hello, Mr. Bass. You are still so fat. You're a little chunky monkey is what you are. Hey. Relax, dude. I'm about to put you back. Little chunky monkey. There we go. Oh, he came off. Dang it. I had me one. All right, y'all, I think we're about to make another bait change. I've actually been seeing a lot of fish out here eating shad on my fish finder. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut off this drop shot. We're definitely gonna put that back on in a little bit, but for right now, I'm gonna try out this swim bait because we have not thrown it yet today. And the swim bait and the topwater are the only baits we have not thrown. So trying to get through all of them just to see what we can catch. But we're gonna break out the swim bait and see if we can maybe catch a couple on that. That doesn't look too bad. Hopefully they'll eat it. I don't know. Sometimes these fish can be really picky about color and heads and stuff like that matching just because this water is so clear. But hopefully they're just gonna be so busy eating on shad that they're gonna see something that looks like a shad and they're just gonna eat it. Honestly, it looks pretty good in the water. I'm not gonna lie. I think we might end up catching a fish on this. This is a little bit of a bigger bait for a spotted bass, but there is some big fish in here that can definitely eat this. No, I missed him. Got him again. Let's go on the swim bait. Let's go. Finally, I've been throwing this thing for a while. I haven't really gotten any to commit, but whew, we finally got one on it. There we go. Hey, oh, he took my tail. He's fat. Shad eater. That's what he is. He is a shad eater. I think I'm gonna put the drop shot back on just because there's a little school right here and I really think they'll tear up that drop shot. So we're gonna put it back on wherever I laid it at. Drop shot is back on. There we go. Hooked up on the drop shot. Decent fish. There's some big old head shakes, I can tell you that. Definitely not as small as the last couple of ones. He's definitely a little bit bigger than those. Not by much though. They're just so fat, goodness. There we go. Another one on the drop shot with the watermelon red worm. I like it. There's another one. They're loving that drop shot. Woo, baby. Hey now, chew, 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 chill. Hey, hey, chill out. I'm about to put you back in the water. Beautiful little spotted bass. Stole my worm. They're tearing this thing up. They like it. There's another one. This one might be bigger. He feels bigger. I can tell you that. I mean, look at them head shakes. Good gracious. This could be the biggest one of the day. I don't know. He sure is fighting like he's got some shoulders. Aw, man, come on now. You done tricked me. It's kind of hard to tell on this little flimsy rod how big they are. That one was fighting though, man. He was a fighter. Look at that. Just straight tubs, man. They're just so fat. They have been eating good and they are stacked up on this little point right here. We got rocks, rocks, point, bam, that's where the fish are sitting at. There's another one. Some of them are small, some of them are decent, but there is a bunch of them sitting down there. Golly, son, you wagging like a dog. Yep. Tearing it up. Ooh, gave us a little jump, huh? Get in here. You stole my worm. Hey, chillax. Mm-hmm. You know what? It's time. We're doing it. It's time. We may not catch a fish for the rest of the day, but also we might, because it is topwater time. And I do have leader line on here, so what I'm gonna do is pull almost all of this leader line off. I'm gonna leave a little bit of leader line just so that way it's clear, because this water is so clear. But also, I don't need all that fluorocarbon, because if I have that, this bait's not gonna do what it's supposed to do. So we got a little bit of fluorocarbon and the rest braid. And now we're gonna stick with the topwater either until we catch fish or until I get ready to go home. Let's check out the action on this little thing. Oh, dude,
Perfect. Perfect. Now we just got to put it in front of a bass that wants to eat. Oh, dude, I just had my first bite. No way. No way. That was the first bite on it, and we just got started. That was crazy. Terrible cast. Apparently this can get bites though. Because we just had our first one. I think I'll get bit in the back of this pocket back here. We got a bunch of trees down back here. It looks really good. I guarantee you there's a spotted bass swimming around here somewhere in one of these trees. Oh, dude, that was a bass and he missed it. No. No, no, no. Dang it. I thought he had it. I mean, that was a good blow up. Got one. What do we got? Oh, dude, I think it's a brim. What? Since when do these eat walking baits? Oh man, that's crazy.